YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is here. Just 2 days before the draft with the final mock draft. My final 3-round NFL mock draft. Decided to add another round for you guys here. And we got some trades, some realistic trades I think could happen. I didn't want to do too many trades. I think there will be more, obviously there will be more trades in this, even in the first round. But I didn't want to get too crazy here than have too many teams picking out of order, because it's near impossible to guess some of these trades. But some I think are very likely to happen and could possibly happen. So we'll go into full details on the trade scenarios once we get there. But pick by pick, let's start with pick number 1. It's going to be Sam Darnold. I'm sticking to it. To the Browns, the quarterback from USC. It's obviously either Darnold or Allen. I think it's going to be Darnold. I think all the Allen stuff is smokescreen. But you never know. We were always surprised. Maybe they trade the pick. I doubt it, but I really think it's going to be Darnold. I think it was Darnold all along. We heard the owner met with 2 prospects out of this draft class, and it was Darnold and Allen, so it makes sense that's one of those 2 guys. But I think they go Darnold. Number 2, I have a switch here. I have a change at number 2. The Giants, I haven't taken Josh Allen, quarterback from Wyoming. Now, I think this could be traded to the Bills, but most likely not. But if it is, I think it's Josh Allen. And if it isn't, I still think it's Josh Allen. Everybody's switching to Saquon Barkley. I really thought it was Saquon Barkley all along. At the combine, we saw footage of him meeting with like scouts, front office people in the Giants, and they look like they were like best buds. He wears Giants gear. It made sense. They needed a running back. He's a Shermer type of guy. But when are they going to have the second pick? And when are they going to see a quarterback class like this? Next year's class is going to be nowhere near as good as this, so it's almost like they have to. So I think they're going to go quarterback. All this talk about Barkley or Chubb, and I think it ends up being a quarterback. Now, I've been saying lately it's going to be Rosen. He fits, but I'm starting to think it's Josh Allen, and I think Josh Allen goes in this 2 spot, whether it's the Giants or not. That's just how I feel. It's a tough one. This is where it starts with the Giants, where everything gets crazy, I think. So I got the Wyoming quarterback going 2. 3, I got the Jets taking Josh Rosen, quarterback UCLA. This is either him or Mayfield. All the talk is Mayfield. People are like plugging in Mayfield to Jets. They're already talking about jerseys. Week 1, Mayfield versus whatever it is. Everyone's talking like he's already on the team. So for that reason, I think it's Rosen. I think he's their quarterback, their type of quarterback. They're going to run West Coast style offense with him. Some team, there's got to be team, because a lot of people have him at number 1 quarterback, and if not, he's around 3. So we got to find the teams that have him at their number 1 quarterback. I think the Jets are a realistic option there. Number 4, I have the Browns going Saquon Barkley, running back, Penn State. Another tough decision here. It's either got to be Barkley or Chubb. For how long it was Minkah Fitzpatrick at 4, so maybe we decide to discuss him in the situation. But in Denzel Ward, I've heard, but I'm thinking it's Bradley or Chubb. It has to be Bradley or Chubb, or Barkley or Chubb. Bradley, Chubb is the same person. Saquon Barkley I went with here, and I think that makes the most sense. Most people have him as their number 1 player, so I think the Browns take him at 4. It makes sense to me, but honestly, it could be Chubb, him with Myles Garrett, could be something else. I do like Ugbo, though. Ugbo on the other opposite end could be nice. But I got Saquon Barkley, 4. Number 5, I have my first trade here. The Bills. We obviously expect the Bills to trade up. The Broncos are a team that's been getting a lot of talk about trading down. If Barkley is gone, I think they do trade down. I think they're going to wait till their pick. I think they expect Barkley gone, so that's what makes them do the deal. They could take Chubb or Nelson, could take their future quarterback. But I think they trade down, and let me pull up my trade details here. I just have the Bills getting the 5th pick, and then the Broncos getting 12 and 22, the 2 first-rounders from the Bills. The Bills, it sounds like they could give up more than this, but this is the fair deal. This is more realistic, should be realistic, I should say. I don't agree if the Bills give up more than this. If they do this and hang on to those second-rounders they got, it's looking good for them, even though I'm not a fan of trading up, but it's still looking good. You got to get your quarterback. You still got other picks, but they may give up more than this. Back to the mock. So I haven't taken Baker Mayfield, quarterback from Oklahoma. I think it'd be a great pick for them. Maybe they prefer Josh Allen, like everyone's saying, but they can't make the deal. They end up making the deal at 5, still taking a solid quarterback, some people's number 1. On the number 6, Colts, another team that could trade back. I had them staying put. Too good to pass on Bradley Chubb, defensive end, NC State. Again, they need a lot of things. But pass rush, how important is that? I think quarterback, pass rush, most important thing in football. They have 2 quarterbacks, honestly, that both can play. both worthy of starting. So you get Bradley Chubb in there. It just makes sense. I mean, you could trade back because the talent's all there. But I think it's got to be Chubb. Then 7, I have the Bucs taking Quentin Nelson, guard from Notre Dame. Best player available. This could be a defensive back. It sounds like Derwin James, Minka Fitzpatrick might be dropping outside the top 8, top 10 maybe. So Quentin Nelson makes sense. Number 8, the Bears take Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, Virginia Tech. The Bears need more than just linebacker, but I think linebacker is their biggest need. Edmonds just makes sense for the Bears. I think they've been on a rebuild team. They're a little past stage 1 of that, but they get a lot of young talent in there that they want to work with together. They got fresh coaches. Their GM got an extension. So they're looking for the young guys with a lot of potential. I think take away Edmonds being 19 and having potential, he's still worthy of this pick right now, and then add that into there. I think it's a no-brainer for the Bears, honestly. I mean, they can discuss Roquan Smith, very good player, but I think Edmonds is just their guy. It just makes so much sense to me if he's there. This could be another trade-back spot. They could be looking to trade back, but can you pass on a talent, a rare, freakish talent like Edmonds? I don't know if you can. On to the next 8 picks. We're starting off with a trade. I have the Chargers trading with the Niners to 9 to take Derwin James, safety from Florida State. As of right now, the Chargers need another safety. I think they're waiting to find the next guy until after the draft. Maybe they get one in the draft, and here we go. I think they would have to trade up to here to get him. I think they're going to like him a lot. I know they like Vita Vea as well, but I think they're looking for their safety and a big-time player in Derwin James. I also think the Niners are a team to look out for trading back. Obviously, that's why I have them trading back. They could use some more picks, and they like the value of the draft. Details. They swap 9 and 17, so the Niners move back to 17. Then they swap second rounders, so Niners move up to the middle of the second round, and then the Chargers move back to the end of the second round, and the Niners get the Chargers' third-round pick, so pretty good deal there. The Chargers don't have to give up too many picks while swapping, so that makes sense. Basically, 2 swaps there, and then just giving up 1 pick. I think it's good deal for both teams. Makes sense to me. Back to the mock here. Derwin James, yeah, he's going to be the starting safety day 1. Great player, great value at 9. Chargers don't have a bunch of big needs, so it makes sense to me. Number 10, Raiders going Minka Fitzpatrick, defensive back, Alabama, can play safety, can play corner. Most of the snaps came from the slot, so we know he can play slot. I'm confident about this guy. He's got the right attitude. He's a good kid, knows how to play the game, very smooth. Technique is there for any position. The Raiders now have Alabama's defensive back coach. Makes sense to me. They need him, and it's not just because the coach is there. It just makes total sense. So if Fitzpatrick's there, unless somebody crazy's there, I expect it to be Fitzpatrick. Number 11, I put Lamar Jackson here, quarterback from Louisville to Miami. Tough decision. I just think he goes this high. I think he goes in this range. Why not Miami? If you do it right, this guy can end up being like the best guy in this draft class. It's just if you run the offense around him, who's got the balls to do it? Really, what it comes down to. Who's got the balls to take them? Who's got the balls to change their offense? Who wants to change the game? Who wants to win? Who wants to throw people's game plans off? This is the move you make if you want to go that route. 12. So the Broncos traded back, and then I have them taking Roquan Smith, linebacker, Georgia. I think worthy of a better pick than 12. He's still here, too good to pass. And then they consider Denzel Ward, and they consider Vita Vea here. But you got to look at the running back, too. Darius Geis, is this too early? Sony Michel, maybe too early. But I like Roquan Smith. Too good to pass. He starts right away. Just make that defense elite again. Make it the best in the league again to win the Super Bowl. 13, I got the Redskins going Denzel Ward, corner from Ohio State. Now, this is either Ward or Vita Vea. If these 2 players are here, it's one of the 2. Definitely one of the 2. I know they like Vita Vea, but I don't know if they expect Ward to be here. I don't know if some teams have him top 10, some teams have him down here. It's how I know there's coaches out there, defensive coaches that he's 5'10", he's just over 5'10", but there's coaches that want the 6-footers. They will not draft a guy. Maybe 5'10" is their shortest they'll draft. So there's some teams that won't have this guy as their number 1 corner. That's a fact. So I could say most of them maybe do, but I don't know if they would pass on him here at 13. He's getting some talks even up at 4. Too good of a talent. Pair him with Norman of the future. Looks good. 14, I stuck with the Packers taking Harold Landry, edge rusher from Boston College. I think he's an elite pass rusher, prospect-wise, not elite going into the league right away. But there's not a lot of guys like him. Freakish athlete, perfect technique, a lot of unblockable moves. You can't really block some of his moves. He needs to work on his inside move. I think an NFL team can help him with that, and then he can be crazy good in the NFL. We've seen mocks with him drop in the mid-20s. That doesn't make sense to me. There's going to be guys that drop because the quarterbacks. There's going to be good guys that drop. We don't know who it's going to be, so maybe it could be Landry, but I just him being a pass rusher and a damn good one, just I don't know. I think the Packers end up with him. They haven't really had pass rush like this since Clay Matthews was in his prime, so they need Landry. I think they need him. They could be corner here. We'll see if Ward's available, if they go him. If one of the safeties is available, like Fitzpatrick, they would like him. We'll see, but I like Harold Landry a lot. He's a top 10 player on my board. 15, the Cardinals go Vita Vea, D-tackle, Washington. Maybe not their biggest need. They could use it, and too good to pass. There's going to be teams with him way in the top 10 on their board. There's going to be teams with him around top 15. Right here, they're picking 15. So I think it might be too good to pass here. Could go receiver here. Could go many things, honestly. But I want Vita Vea, too good to pass here. 16, the Ravens go Calvin Ridley, wide receiver, Alabama. They've been picking up receivers like crazy, but it's just like, can you trust these guys to give you good production? That's the type of guys they have. Can you count on them? They don't really have a receiver like Ridley, even though I'm not super high on him. They don't really have his style. They don't have a guy that's going to guarantee you to get open, catch the ball. I think he's not going to wow you, but he's going to do that for you. So I still think this is receiver, even though they got a bunch of them. What are you going to get out of Crabtree? I mean, he's good, but how much longer are you going to get him for? What are you going to get out of Snead? He's been hurt in the past. He's only had good production with Drew Brees, so is it going to happen anywhere else? You don't know what you're going to get. So go get a guy. I'd prefer Cortland Sutton, maybe DJ Moore, but Calvin Ridley's right there. He's my number 3 receiver. So he has moved up for me. I went back to the earlier tape. Very impressive. So if he gets the right coaching, he can get back to that. So he has moved up a little bit, but I'm still not super high on him, but it would make sense for the Ravens. So I'm still predicting them to get a receiver, but it's really up in the air. It's really up in the air. On to the next 8 picks. Remember, the Niners traded back with the Chargers. I haven't taken Rashaan Evans, linebacker, Alabama. They need another linebacker. We don't know what's going on with Foster, but even if he's playing, you need another one, and you get his teammate here. If you like Foster, you're going to like Evans. I like Evans a lot. I think he's top 12 on my big board. I like him better than 17 overall, but they take him here. It makes sense to me. Then 18, I actually have the Patriots trading up, which is surprising because they're a team that likes to trade back. They very well could trade back to gather more picks at some time. But with Mike McGlinchey still on the board here, I think he's their guy. I really do. I don't think you can afford to let the Cowboys, Lions, Bengals pick right there. And the Broncos, too, could use one. They traded back. Mainly looking at the Lions and the Bengals. I don't think you can let them pick with Mike McGlinchey. If Mike McGlinchey's on the board and they think he's going to come off in top 15, they may not trade up. But in this situation, I think they do it. I think they go get their left tackle of the future. It makes sense to me. So let's see what they give up here. It is hard to see them trade up, but in this situation, I don't know. So the Seahawks go back to 23, so not too far of movement. The Seahawks need more picks desperately, so it makes sense to them. And they gain a late third-rounder out of it, so it's a good deal both ways. Patriots, I expect to trade back in a few spots like they do in the rest of the draft to gain something back here, but they still have two second-rounders, and they still have 2 firsts, one more after this one. So obviously they come up and get Mike McGlinchey. I have the Cowboys taking DJ Moore, wide receiver, Maryland. There's a lot of talk he could be the first receiver off the board. But, I mean, I think that's these media guys going and interviewing teams. They don't ask every team who's the number 1 receiver. So it really depends on – it all it takes is one team. So we'll see. He could be the first receiver off the board. I think he fits in the Cowboys' new offense nicely. It's switching with Dak Prescott. It's changing with Zeke. Catches the ball in the backfield very well. It's changing. That's why Dez isn't there anymore. They got Allen Hurns. DJ Moore is a different type of receiver. Really can do it all, but he's more the shifty guy. It makes that offense scary. Even though I love Cortland Sutton, DJ Moore I think makes more sense in their offense. But I'm a big Sutton fan, so I would like to pick there too. 20, the Lions go Deron Payne, defensive tackle, Alabama. Maybe too good to pass on him. He's another guy that's split. I think some teams are going to have him top 15, even maybe top 12 players. Some teams are going to have him top 32 still, but maybe this is a few picks too early. But I think for the most part, I think they'll like him a lot. Davenport's considered, but I like Davenport more as a 4-3. They're switching their defense with Patricia. I know they like a Lorenzo Carter. Is this a little too early for them? A wild card for them would be to trade back and maybe get a Dallas Goedert, a tight end. That would be a wild card thing I thought about. But I like them staying put in this situation. 21, Bengals go James Daniels, center slash guard, Iowa. I've had this for a while. He's a great fit. Makes sense to me. Daniels is moving up my board. I like Daniels a lot. Either way, center or guard. He stands out more at guard, but that's just because that's how the position is. Not far off from Nelson, honestly, with some of the impact plays he blocks he makes. So, I mean, he's not going to go that early, but very impressive Daniels is. And then the Broncos traded back with the Bills, if you remember. They got 12 and 22. Now they get Darius Guice. So they get Roquan Smith and Darius Guice. That's a damn good draft right there. That would be very impressive. 23, so the Seahawks traded back, and they still get Marcus Davenport, a guy that can go earlier in this, but raw, potential guy, so slides a little bit, but very good. The Seahawks can use pretty much anything on defense at this point. Maybe not linebacker, but I think Davenport played DN for them, and this would be a good deal to gather a pick and then get Davenport. Panthers at 24 take Josh Jackson, corner from Iowa. Too good to pass. They need a corner. A lot of talk about Jackson dropping. He's my number one corner in the draft. I think he could slide a little bit, but this is probably the farthest point he can slide, in my opinion. So I like him there. On to the next 8. Titans go Josh Sweat, edge rusher from Florida State. I know they like him a lot, and I think he's worthy of the pick. He's a freak athlete. You don't see an edge rusher like him a lot. Got some good moves on the outside and the inside, which is very impressive. But I know the Titans like him a lot. I don't know if they can pass him. Maybe look out for them to trade back a little bit. I know the Seahawks are interested in him as well. I thought about putting him to the Seahawks, but Davenport may be too good to pass if he's there. But the Titans, I think, go Sweat. But again, I think they can trade back a little bit. Sweat's injuries checked out okay. You got to remember those injuries were senior high school. So he's been playing college ball just fine. So I like Sweat there at 25. 26, Falcons go Taven Bryan. It sounds like Bryan could go earlier in this, but I didn't really see a fit anywhere. I think the Falcons need some D-line help, and I think they go Bryan here at 26. 27, the Saints go Dallas Goedert, tight end from South Dakota State. Freak athlete tight end. Saints could use somebody like that. They tried to get Jimmy Graham back. They failed on that, so they go Goddard here. 28, the Steelers go Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker, Boise State. Weird prospect because we heard things that he's going to go top 20, no problem. And then the injury thing, that people were saying the injury news is false, but I'm hearing it again that it's not false. So he could drop a little bit. Some teams checked him out, some teams did not. The Steelers, I don't think, would pass on him if he dropped here. They definitely could use his talents in there, so I went with Vander Esch there. 29, the Jags take Isaiah Wynn, offensive lineman, Georgia. The Jags don't have a bunch of needs, but I gave him Isaiah Wynn. Definitely worthy of the pick. Higher than this on my big board. Can play tackle, can play guard. I know the Jags are interested in him. 30. So I had the Vikings trading back. I think I had that in my last mock too. The Vikings are a team that trades back an insane amount every draft. If they see good value, good depth, they'll trade back. So that's the situation here. The quarterbacks push everybody back. I'm pretty confident they will make a move. Bucks trade up, get their running back in Sony Michel from Georgia. Good pick in my opinion. Let's check out the trade details. So they go back 8 spots, or the Vikings go back 8 spots. Bucks go up to 30, and the Vikings get their 4th round pick. So good deal there. Bucks secure their running back of the future and right now. Back to the picks. 31, the Patriots get Mike Hughes, corner from UCF. I like Mike Hughes and the Patriots. Makes sense to me. Good press, good man corner. They'll like that. They're Logan Ryan, but better prospect than Logan Ryan and covering downfield down the sidelines. So I think they'll like him a lot. 32, the Eagles going Cortland Sutton, wide receiver, SMU, my number 1 receiver. This would be just a steal of a pick, but it's starting to look like it's realistic. Eagles don't have a whole bunch of needs, so take the guy with the upside. Take your future Alshon Jeffrey, maybe a little more athletic than Alshon Jeffrey. So get another receiver in there. Makes sense. On to the 2nd round. Somehow I had Jair Alexander on the board still, the corner from Louisville. You can see this great talent that's going to drop. If you don't need a quarterback, this is a damn good draft class. Very, very good. Because all these guys are going to... We already see guys slip because of bad picks and because of some quarterbacks. We always see good talent slide. Seems like they always end up being good, too. You can't believe how this guy's still on the board. He ends up being good. So it's going to happen a lot this year because You got the normal guy sliding back for normal reasons, and then you got even more quarterback trade ups or overdrafts of quarterbacks. So it's a good class if you don't need a quarterback. So the Browns get their corner. The Giants go Will Hernandez. Easily can be a first rounder. See another good guy slide. I have some linemen dropping here. The Browns go Connor Williams, tackle / guard. Connor Williams for sure worthy of a first pick, but maybe inconsistent play this last year. An injury makes him drop. But if you look at his tape 2 years ago, people say he's a top 10 pick. So interesting to see where he will go. Colts get back-to-back picks. Ronald Jones, running back USC. I think there could be their running back. I know they have interest in him. And then Colton Miller, offensive tackle from UCLA. He's getting some first-round buzz too. I prefer him in the second. The Vikings got the Bucks pick. They go Lorenzo Carter, linebacker from Georgia. This would be a very interesting pick. I know they have high interest in him. This would be a Zimmer guy, a Zimmer project, but not. I don't mean project as in it's going to be a long project, like not like that. It's going to be a fun project for Zimmer. I think this guy is a first-round talent, very impressive, been shooting up boards. I know they have high interest in him. They do need linemen, but the linemen are getting pushed back here, and they have another second-rounder here. And we saw them get Elfline, who was very good for them in the third round last year, so they can go for that again. Bears, I know the Bears have a lot of interest in Isaiah Oliver, so I have them taking the Colorado corner. He can potentially start for them day one, honestly, so that would be a good pick. 40, the Broncos go Mason Rudolph. Maybe their future quarterback can learn from Case Keenum. On to the next 8 picks. Raiders go Tyrell Crosby, offensive lineman from Oregon. I like Crosby a lot. Mean, nasty blocker. Raiders would like him a lot there. There's been some talk that the Raiders could possibly go tackle in the first round. I don't know if that happens, but we can look out for it in a second. Dolphins go Justin Reed, safety from Stanford. Some consider him a first-rounder. Very good safety, very good football player. Dolphins are a team to look out for Derwin James in the first, but if they can't get him, then Justin Reed possibly. And back-to-back safeties, the Patriots go Ronnie Harrison, safety from Alabama. Another guy potentially could be we got a long list of guys that potentially be a first, but again, those quarterbacks are going to push him back. The Redskins go Maurice Hurst. They take a chance at him. He's a top 20 player easy without the medical issue, but teams may get scared. He may drop. Redskins can definitely use his talents in there, though. Packers go Carlton Davis, corner from Auburn. I think the Packers would love to have this guy. That would be a great haul for them. Harold Landry and Carlton Davis. He drops a little bit because these other guys are dropping. Good physical corner. I like him a lot at that pick. Bengals go Jesse Bates, safety from Wake Forest. I like him a lot. Great playmaker. Bengals need a player like that. 47 Cardinals go DJ Chark, wide receiver LSU. He makes sense in the Cardinals offense. He's that deep ball speed guy that they lost in John Brown. But I like him a lot down the sideline. He's pretty shifty, so you can do some underneath stuff with him too. Maybe he's a Diggs for Bradford. That makes sense to me. 48, so we had to swap in the picks. Niners, Chargers. I have the Niners taking Dante Jackson, corner LSU. I think right away you got Richard Sherman and Nikello Witherspoon, who I like a lot on the outside. Dante Jackson in the slot. When Sherman's gone, near future you would say, not too soon, but then Dante Jackson could step up, play outside, or you keep him in the slot depending on who else you get. So very good corner there, very good pick with the swap of the trade. 49, the Colts take Terrell Edmonds, safety from Virginia Tech, brother of Tremaine Edmonds. He's supposedly soaring up board. Some people view him as a day one starter at safety. Some people view him as a box safety who could start right away. Physical guy. I like him a lot. When the ball's in the air deep, he knows how to make a play on it. Can fall for play action, some fakes though sometimes. So he's definitely moving up boards. I've heard some talks he can go earlier in this. I think this is more of his range. Even earlier third makes more sense to me than late first, which some random talks have been going around. 50, the Cowboys go Malik Jefferson, linebacker, Texas. Add him to that linebacker core. If everybody stays healthy, that's a scary linebacker core. I think they'll like Jefferson a lot. I think he's worthy of a better pick than this, but it sounds like he's fallen. 51, the Lions go Nick Chubb, running back from Georgia. They need a running back of the future. I think this is Nick Chubb's range. I feel a little safer with him, maybe early third, but we will see. I like him going to the Lions. 52, Ravens go Hayden Hurst, South Carolina, tight end. There's some talk about him going first. He's going to be 25 years old. That alone just scares me. I don't even know if I'd touch him at this point. It seems to never work out. But he's a very good tight end. He's the most complete tight end in this draft class. It's just the age scares me, but I think the Ravens would easily make this decision here. 53, Bills go Christian Kirk, wide receiver from A&M. They pair him with Baker. I like that duo a lot. Chiefs go Nwosu, outside linebacker, USC. People just assume they need a corner. That's the first thing they're going to take. They need linebackers pretty bad. I think Nwosu's the guy. that can honestly line up at multiple positions over there. So I think they'll like him. Very good pass deflector, good at reading the quarterback's eyes, hand motion, arm motion. I like Nwosu. 55, Anthony Miller, wide receiver, Memphis. I think the Panthers would love to have a guy like Anthony Miller. If he went late first, I don't think he will. Really no shot maybe. But if he went late first, I wouldn't hate the pick. I like Anthony Miller a lot. Very good football player. 56, Bills take Sam Hubbard, edge rusher from Ohio State. Sounds like he might be dropping, not too athletic, but he's a technician. I like him. He can get to the quarterback. Bills wouldn't hesitate here. Good value. Next picks, Titans take Rasheem Green, defensive end from USC. I love him as a 3-4 D end. They took an edge rusher in the first. They do need an inside linebacker, but going off value here, Rasheem Green, and pair him with the former USC Trojan of Casey. I know they have a few other guys that can play there, but I think they'll like Green. I really like him as a 3-4 end. Really like him. I hope he goes to a 3-4 team over a 4-3 team. Could play. Some people think he can play DN in 4-3. I don't know if he's athletic enough. And some people think he'll play D tackle in a 4-3. I have him listed as D line because I think he'll be a 3-4 DN, 4-3 D tackle. But I prefer him 3-4 D end here. I like him a lot in that Titans defense. Falcons take Frank Ragnow, offensive lineman, Arkansas. Big-time riser, can play center or guard. I know the Falcons have interest in him. Don't know if he'll get by at this point. Could go much earlier in this. Chargers swapped with the Niners. They are going to go ahead and take B.J. Hill, D-tackle from NC State. They need another D-tackle. B.J. Hill can help them out there. 60th pick, Steelers take Mike Gesicki, tight end from Penn State. They haven't really had a athletic tight end in a long time, so here you go. 61, Jags go James Washington, wide receiver, Oklahoma State. They lost Hearns and Robinson. They need more of a deep ball guy, an outside receiver. Washington is a deep ball specialist, and he can body up somebody too. He's just under 6 foot. If you throw the ball up, I'm confident he can come down with it. 62, the Vikings go Billy Price, offensive lineman, Ohio State. There was talks about the Vikings getting him in the first round. Vikings been a team cursed with injuries in the past, so I mean he's had that pec injury. So I don't know if they would actually pull the trigger with him in the first round or even with that early second. They can possibly get him here still, so that'd be a pretty good haul. Lorenzo Carter and Price with gaining a pick. The Patriots do it. They go quarterback. They go Luke Falk, quarterback, Washington State. They could very easily go quarterback in the first round. I think they'll like Falk. You see a lot of mocks if they don't go in the first with a quarterback to go Lauletta. I think they like Falk better. I don't know. That's just my take. That's how I feel about it. Maybe they want to go to a different style. That's what Lamar Jackson's talking about. They want to have some fun, get weird with it, change it up. Could be a good move, but I like Falk if they don't decide to go quarterback in the first. And the Browns pass on Bradley Chubb in the first, but they get Kamoko Toure, the solid pass rusher from Rutgers. He's moving up boards, can play 4-3 DN or 3-4 outside linebacker. So we're on to the third round now. First time I'm doing a third round. We got 9 picks at a time here because we got 100 total in 3 rounds. Bills take Darius Leonard, linebacker from South Carolina State. Could play inside, can play outside, possibly go second round. Giants go Kerryon Johnson, running back, Auburn. Couldn't believe I still had him on the board here. He could be their future running back. Colts go Anthony Averett, corner from Alabama. They need another corner. Good value here. Texans go Mark Andrews with their first pick, tight end, Oklahoma. I like him a lot in the Texans offense. I think it'd be a solid pick. Giants go Deshaun Hand. I think he'd play if they want to run that 3-4. I think he'll play D end for them. He can play D tackle as well. A lot of upside for him. Was a top recruit and rotated a lot because that Bama talented D line. So I think if he gets the opportunity, he can be a better pro than he was in college. Niners take Dante Pettis, wide receiver, Washington. I think he's their type of their receiver. Can return obviously as well. They can use another receiver like him in there, one of the best route runners in the draft. Broncos go Derek Nottie, defense tackle, Florida State. They can use another D tackle. I like him at the nose. He could possibly go second. Jets get their future running back in Rashad Penny. Very explosive, fun to watch running back. Teams worry about his blocking a little bit, so maybe that's why he drops to the third. Dolphins go Harrison Phillips, another guy I couldn't believe I had the board still. The D tackle from Stanford. Lost down Kinsu, so they can use him in there. Next 8 picks. Niners go Braden Smith, guard from Auburn. Need an offensive lineman in there. If Quentin Nelson drops, people say they won't hesitate to take him. But I don't think he does, so they get a guard here. Solid one in Smith. Raiders pull the trigger on Arden Key, outside linebacker from LSU. Good pass rush. This is the ultimate. This is the risky prospect of the year probably. If he's healthy and is in shape, in his athletic shape, not in trouble off the field, he is a top 20 talent, top 15 talent, no problem. But there's a few things that need to go right there. Like I just listed off a few things. Some teams want him to be the heavier weight once you get to the NFL. He's not as good, not as athletic when he's at the heavier weight. So we will see what happens here. Very risky, but a lot of upside. Packers take Deshaun Hamilton, wide receiver, Penn State. They need to add another receiver. Maybe the best route runner in the draft here in Deshaun Hamilton. So I think the Packers will like him. Bengals go Kyle Lauletta. Lost McCarron. They need a quarterback of the future. A lot of upside for Lauletta. Be a good pick here. The Chiefs go Quentin Meeks. They get their corner here. Meeks, technician corner. Maybe he needs to work on ball skills a little bit, but pretty solid. Cardinals go Jamarco Jones, offensive lineman, Ohio State. Another guy easily can go in the second round. Cardinals take him here, protect Bradford. Texans go Dorian O'Daniel, linebacker, Clemson. Good value here, and Dorian O'Daniel can play multiple linebacker positions. Cowboys go Tavarius Moore, safety from Southern Miss. One of the biggest risers after his pro day, combine snub. Very athletic, long safety. He's a Cowboys type of guy. They're moving Byron Jones from safety to the corner. They got a bunch of guys that are slot guys. They need somebody like Moore. I think they'll like him a lot. Lions go Dorrance Armstrong, edge from Kansas. He's a Patricia type of guy. Armstrong has a ton of upside. I would love him on the Lions there. Next pick, Ravens take Fred Warner, linebacker, BYU. Maybe too good to pass at this point. Linebacker that can play multiple position. I prefer him maybe outside since of his thin frame, but again, he can play inside with the right defense. Niners got this pick in my Chargers-Niners trade. They get a nose tackle on Tim Settle from Virginia Tech. Panthers get an offensive lineman, Austin Corbett from Nevada. I like him at guard for the Panthers. Chiefs take Armani Watts, a safety from A&M, pair him with Barry. That's a duo of the future if Barry stays healthy. This is a perfect situation for the Rams. I somehow had Okoronkwo lasting to here. That is exactly what the Rams need. I would love this. People talk about the Rams. They're hyping them up. Yeah, good offseason, but they need some linebackers. They play in a 3-4. It's a little bit of a hybrid with their defense there, but they need some linebackers. I think Okoronkwo can rush the passer from the linebacker spot. They're going to have good production and pass rush from the D-line, but if you can get it from the linebacker position too, it's going to be very scary. Panthers go Jalen Samuels. He can play tight end. He can play halfback from NC State. I think the Panthers will like him a lot. That makes a lot of sense to me. Titans take Shaquem Griffin. They pull the trigger on him, the linebacker from UCF, guy that can play inside or outside. The Titans will like him, I think, there. Falcons take Ian Thomas, tight end from Indiana, big riser. Titans could use a tight end. I like the fit of Thomas in there. Saints go Jernard Avery, linebacker, Memphis. I like a fit here. I like him on the Saints, a guy that can play multiple linebacker positions. Big riser for me. One of my favorite players, one of my favorite sleepers. I thought he would go fourth round, but I have him sliding into the third now. I like this a lot. He can play inside, can play outside, in many different defenses. I think the Saints could use his talents. I like the fit. On to the last 8 picks, going up to 100 here. Steelers take Holton Hill, corner from Texas. Long physical corner, can get interceptions as well. I think the Steelers could use a guy like that. Jags go Orlando Brown, offensive tackle, Oklahoma, once known as a first rounder. Could still possibly sneak in late first, but teams get scared of his athletic ability. But he can block. Bottom line is he can block. I think the Jags will like him. They get a guard and a tackle from this draft. That offensive line is going to be stacked. Vikings go Nyheim Hines, a little bit of a wild card here. The running back from NC State. They lost Jerick McKinnon. Well, here's a new Jerick McKinnon. I like him in the third round. He's got speed and very good pass-catching abilities. Seahawks gained the Patriots pick. In my trade, I got them taking Brian O'Neill, the athletic tackle from Pittsburgh. They obviously need more linemen. Bills go Michael Gallup, wide receiver, Colorado State. I already had him taking Christian Kirk. Yes, I think they can use multiple receivers. Gallup and Christian Kirk with your quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Wow. Cardinals, Kaiser White, defensive back, West Virginia. Could play safety, can play corner. I like him in the slot. Who does that sound like? Tyrann Mathieu. They wanted to keep him, but they couldn't pay him all that money. Well, White can take his spot. Only problem at White is he had a bad pro day. Timing-wise, speed wasn't there. But he can hit. He knows how to play the game. Very instinctive. So I think the Cardinals take him there. Texans go Nathan Shepard, defensive tackle from Fort Hays State. Very impressive, big-time riser. He's just a man amongst boys in that division he played in. So, freak guy, and they can use another D tackle for the Texans. Broncos go Deion Kane. Maybe too good to pass. I think he's worthy of a better pick than this. He's been a dropper. You watch his tape, you love it with Deshaun Watson. You absolutely love it. pro day wasn't good. That's why he drops, but they can use another receiver. Deion Kane, a lot of upside. And the Bengals need linebacker depth. They could use a starter right away. I got Jerome Baker. Jerome Baker plays like he's a second rounder, maybe even better. Thin frame. That's going to scare teams. Teams always overreact about the thin frame, about being too light, being this way. So he drops a little bit there, but still makes it into the third round. Very athletic linebacker. So there you have it. That's a lot of talking I just did. 3 rounds. My final mock draft for this draft. Can't wait for the draft to start up. Tomorrow, which is the day before the draft, it is Wednesday. We're going to have the latest news and rumors. I'm also going to have surprise or sleepers that can sneak in the first round, what teams they can go to. And then on draft day, I'm going to release my big board. I'm going to give you guys links to my prospect rankings. We're going to discuss all that kind of fun stuff. More content, more discussions, more updates on our Twitter, frogs_angels. Link in the description. Go follow that, please. Much appreciated. And like and subscribe if you haven't already. That'll do it for this one. Goodbye.